2019 and talk about Spider-Man. The modern American cinematic Spider-Man has been around for about 20 years. Got Raimi Trilogy, Mark Webb Duology, MCU Spidey, Spider-Verse Spidey. For those keeping track, that's about 8 dedicated films and significant cameos in 3 others. Looking at the timeline, with No Way Home coming out later this year, a Spider-Verse sequel coming out next year, and a Spider-Woman movie coming out eventually, it is the most amount of Spider-Man in the most amount of Spider-Man films condensed within this finite point in time. In all of human history, there has never been as much Spider-Man as there is right now. The futurists warned of a technological singularity. I believe we are on the cusp of a Spider-Man singularity. We are living in a moment where it seems like Spider-Man will never die. Who wants Spider-Man to die? Everybody loves Spider-Man. I don't have to recap any of this. You just know it intuitively. Spins a web any size and catches entire cars. Nobody wants Spider-Man to die. When Spider-Man died in Spider-Verse, everybody was sad. But it's okay because Miles became the new Spider-Man and he was joined by the other Spider people. When Spider-Man died in Infinity War, everybody was sad. We all cry. But then in the next movie, he came back. This was all foreshadowed in the first Spider-Man.
We'll meet again, Spider-Man!
We'll meet again, Spider-Man. We'll meet again forever. Because that's how it is in the comic books, baby. It's never-ending serialized storytelling with multiple authors, interpretations, storylines, spin-offs, reboots. Trying to keep track of it all. And it's bananas. The comic book medium allows for all these storyline shenanigans, and it's given way to various adaptations across the media landscape. But movies are a different animal altogether. They got bigger budgets. It's a larger collaborative effort of actors, directors, screenwriters, the whole freaking crew. All this effort into effectively 2 hours of a cinematic story. Way back, there were no expansive universes, no post-credit sequences setting up the next thing. You parked your keister in the seat, grab some popcorn, and you got a movie. Didn't have to worry about having it fit into this grand universe. You got your Supermans, you got your Batmans. But K-Flicks really started coming to their own around Blade, X-Men, and finally Tobey Spider-Man came swinging along. Bank.
They love me.
Tobey Spider-Man feels like it's from a completely different era. The mentality was, hey, let's just do a Spider-Man. And we had a grand old pizza time for 3 movies. There's no 4th movie, so reboot. The mentality was, hey, let's just do a Spider-Man, but as a skater boy.
Oh boy, yeah.
But the amazing Andrew Spider-Man came out in the same year as this little known indie flick. You might have heard of it. It made so much money. They created and close to perfected the Krabby Patty Marvel formula for the first expanded cinematic universe thingy for comic book movies. Congratulations, you did it. You won cinema. How can Andrew Spider-Man possibly compete with that? The answer is, he can't.
How dare you!
But Spider-Man never dies. He is reborn into the MCU as Tom Spider-Man, but it's a different approach than before. He gets his own movies and own storylines, but this Spider-Man has to fit into a larger continuity with a specific style of filmmaking. Previous entries didn't have to do that. Spider-Verse felt fresh because it kind of just does its own thing. MCU Spidey's been a bit overshadowed to this point. It doesn't matter though. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I like both. I like Spider-Man.
I just think they're neat.
Spider-Man No Way Home was the inspiration for this video because to me, it's the most interesting comic book movie to come out since the Avengers. Prior to that movie, nobody had ever seen the successful team up of comic book characters from different films within a shared universe. And now No Way Home is bringing elements from alternative universes, which were films created in an era without shared universes and somehow making them a part of that shared universe. Which is wild, but not totally unexpected considering that the concept of a multiverse is already built into comic book stories. It opens up a whole realm of possibilities. Or does it? The Walt Disney Company, with their Krabby Patty Marvel formula, has been so successful that Sony, who owns the film rights to Spider-Man and are under contractual obligation to make a new Spider-Man movie every 5 years, has decided to let Disney play with their Spider-Man toy. Spider-Man exists in the MCU because Disney are gods, and they have become the gods of the multiverse. But who cares? It's supposed to be fun, damn it. Wouldn't it be amazing if Tobey Spider-Man, Andrew Spider-Man, and Tom Spider-Man all came together for a Spider-Man time? Wouldn't it be fun if the guy who said back to formula came back to the franchise? They're doing that. And like, it's cool. You're not supposed to take it super seriously. He's a Spider-Man, not a serious man. The potential of a multiverse story is that it can give you a different perspective on a character. What makes them tick? What makes them who they are? Can a single event change the trajectory of their lives? It's a different way of looking at themes that have been explored in previous movies. What makes a hero a hero? What makes a villain a villain? What makes a Spider-Man a Spider-Man?
Go, Web! Go! Go! Go, Web, go!
You know, these villains like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Sandman, they had complete arcs that served their narrative purpose. And now they're back. The whole thing is very comic booky. Could it translate well into the MCU? Or will the whole thing feel jarring because these are characters from a different era of superhero flicks? The new trailer dropped while I was editing this video, and I saw this. That's the power of nostalgia. The emotional connection that media can create with you when you're young and impressionable can stay with you forever. This isn't a bad thing, even when a certain company tries to sell you on that nostalgia when you're older. We live in a society. But of course, it isn't all about you. Mass appeal is for everybody. The advantage of being older is that hopefully you are wise enough to grapple with these feelings and the realities of the world around you. Clearly, these stories, these characters, and these universes mean a lot to a lot of people. But guess what? Disney or whoever can do whatever they want with them. They own the IPs. Society. And you know what? Just go for it. Make it weird, make it messy, make it fun. Just go nuts with it. Nothing is sacred. This is fiction generated for our own amusement to distract us from the void. It's all make-believe. Who cares? The year is 2021. We are almost as close now to the release of the Avengers as the release of the Avengers was to the original Spider-Man. The internet, with all its memes and the media landscape, has shifted dramatically in just a decade. But what has remained consistent is Spider-Man.
I want Spider-Man!
Why do we like Spider-Man? Peter Parker is hashtag relatable, but he also has cool and fun spider abilities. A kid from Queens who gains great power and uses it with great responsibility. A flawed superhero dealing with everyday problems, yet always tries to do what's right.
Hey, you guys. Pizza time.
He's also really funny.
Mr. Criminal. Hey, my name is Spiderman.
The supporting cast is really good too, but I just gotta ask, how many times can you keep adapting the same pre-existing material before the well runs dry? How deep can you go into the world of Spider-Man before it extends beyond any reasonable conclusion to his characters and story? How many iterations of spidery men or spidery women can we get before we just get sick of it? This could just be a phase, reflective of where we're at as a society. Seeking comfort in the familiar because the future seems so uncertain. I can't speak. Spider-Man has taken my ability to speak. It could be because Sony doesn't want to lose their cash cow.
I have nothing left except Spider-Man.
I don't think it's just because of a mere contractual obligation. One of the central ethos to the character is that anybody can put on the mask. Anyone can be a hero.
I believe there's a hero in all of us.
In a way, nobody really owns Spider-Man. If Disney and Sony imploded tomorrow, we would still find a way to spin new Spider-Man stories. What the character symbolizes is bigger than any corporation. We like that. We like Spider-Man. As long as we like Spider-Man, we will keep getting more Spider-Man.
They love me.
Go back 60 years and the webhead didn't even exist, and now he's killing it. If Spider-Man can do that, and the core tenet of the character is that anyone can wear the mask, then imagine what we could all do together. Get that doomer shit out of here. Believe in yourself. Believe in us. Maybe we can evolve, change our world, envision a reality beyond Spider-Man. We could transcend our humanity into godhood as the all-infinite, all-knowing spider.
Spider-Man.
Anyway, this is a long, rambly way to say I'm excited for Spider-Man No Way Home. What are your thoughts? Are you excited for No Way Home? Who's your favorite version of Spider-Man? Me? Japanese Spider-Man. He's got a freaking Megazord. It's amazing. Anyway, that's it. That's the video.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos. I'm losing my mind!
Mentos, the fresh maker.